We, of course, need to discipline children because children need discipline. Not because we want to control the house or we want to have quiet in the house. We discipline our children because they need the discipline. It is very easy for discipline to turn into abuse. And so it intimidates us. We're terrified. What if I cross the line when I discipline my children and I end up abusing and therefore losing my child? The result is we either don't discipline at all, or we discipline hesitantly, which is really bad. You're disciplining your child and apologizing at the same time. Very confusing. In the child's mind, if you're not sure, if you're not sure about what you're saying, why are you saying it? If you're not sure that you should criticize me, then why are you criticizing me? So either way, no discipline or uncertain discipline will not work for the child. It also makes you very anxious. So let's understand, what is the purpose of discipline? Why do children need discipline? What would happen if a child is raised without discipline? Can't we rely on the child to make good decisions and to be a good child without being disciplined? Are we, by saying a child needs discipline, are we not assuming that the child is bad, the child is evil, and if you don't clip his wings, he's going to do terrible things? Which is a negative, suspicious-minded assumption of the evil nature of every child. Unless you beat him into submission, he's going to be a criminal. Or if you beat him into submission, then he's going to be a criminal. So what is the need for discipline? It's not that children are bad or people are naturally bad. We don't have to go that negative or that far. But it is true and unavoidable that human beings are selfish, especially children. They see the entire world the entire world exists for their benefit, for their pleasure, for their needs. That's the nature of a child. For a person to remain that way into adulthood would be a disaster. Maybe not a crime, because people are essentially decent. We're not worried they're going to turn out to be criminals, but we are worried that they're not going to grow beyond their nature as children. They're going to remain self-centered, unaware of anyone else's need, but totally devoted to their own need. Discipline literally means There's a real world out there with real laws, like there are only certain hours in the day. That's a fact. You can't argue with that. And of those hours of the day, you need to be sleeping a certain amount of hours. So if you don't go to sleep now, you're not going to have those hours. You're going to be short on sleep. That's just a fact of life. The ability to obey the facts of life comes from discipline. A child who is not disciplined can't obey the laws of nature. So, what is the purpose of discipline? To introduce to the child the reality that exists beyond the child's feelings or opinion. As something as simple as bedtime. You tell a child, it's bedtime. The child says, I don't want to go to sleep. Well, how does this showdown end? You say it's time to go to sleep. The child says, I don't want to. You say, but it's time. Are you right? Are you sure you're right? The child should go to sleep even though he doesn't want to? Why? The best reason is to teach the child that you don't always do what you want to. You can't always do what you want to. If a child never learns that, this child is going to grow up to be a miserable adult, because reality is going to keep knocking him down, and he's convinced that you don't surrender to reality, you do what you want. So he's going to continue to live on will, on whim, on taste, on mood, and reality is going to ruin it for him. And so he's going to hate reality and spend his life trying to defy reality. And we know who's going to win on that one. So the purpose of discipline is to introduce to the child the reality of a world larger than himself or herself. So, for example, you see a child having a great time playing a game or doing something, and the mother says, time to go to sleep. And without a complaint and without resistance, the child packs up the game, puts it away, and says goodnight and goes to sleep. This is heaven. For the parent, this is like too good to be true. But what are you seeing? What you're seeing is a child who has already made peace with the fact that there's a world out there that has its own rules, its own demands, and you can't fight it. You don't want to fight it. You want to live with it. This is a healthy child who's going to grow into a healthy adult. So in simple language, you say to a child, it's time to go to sleep. The child says, I don't want to. I'm having fun. I want to finish the game. I want to finish the whatever. And you say, because you're going to discipline by saying, I understand you don't want to, but it's bedtime. The key word is but. Yes, you don't want to. But, however, however, it is bedtime. And when it's bedtime, you go to sleep. Not wanting to, but you do it. That's what the word but means. Yes, but. Child is playing in his friend's house with a very nice toy. Child wants to take the toy home. You say, "No, you can't take the toy home. You have to leave it here. It's not yours." Child says, "Yes, it is. I want it." And you have to use the word but. I know you want it. It's such a nice toy. You're having so much fun playing with it. But there's a world out there. It's a big world. It has rules. It has realities, facts. And what you feel and what you want and what you think has to adjust to that reality. I think a very simple way of saying it is the purpose of discipline is to prevent narcissism. We have a Sunday night program for VIPs that you might be interested in. It's informal, it's questions and answers, it's conversation. It's really relaxed, it's really pleasant, enjoyable, informative, and kind of community-like. It's a Sunday night program, there's a Wednesday morning program for the VIPs, and there's a Wednesday night program. All of it just conversation, casual, laid back, unscripted. So join us, take a look, click the link below, and see which of the three suits you best, and join us for some enjoyable conversation.